Thank you. Hi, y'all. I'm sorry I got cut off. Sometimes that happens. I don't know. Um, so I'm back. I noticed that a lot of people probably weren't keeping up. So I'll slow down, y'all. I will slow down. I'll slow down. I'll slow way down. Sorry. When I start talking about stuff, I just because I understand it so well, I just keep going. So I have to slow down and get some questions. So thank y'all for coming back anyway. So what do y'all want to ask about what I've discussed so far? Then I can see where y'all are as far as knowing what I'm talking about. Okay, we back. Mm-hmm. Okay, so y'all understand about the evolution and the de-evolution, devil, devil. That's funny. The de-evolution and the evolution. No one can resist the evil of the thriller. You know what the thriller is? Mhm. Hey, the thriller. De-evil, like the de-evolve. Mhm. So I'm gonna look up the definition of thriller. Thriller. Very exciting experience. Mhm. A novel, play, movie, or exciting plot, typically involving crime or espionage. It also means a very exciting contest or experience. So, mhm, how can a person that is spiritual wasteland become spiritually strong? Study, know thyself. That is the biggest strength you can have. De-evolution happens because there are laws of the universe. You have to have both extremes. Exactly. Got to be a dragon. Now I'm gonna look into earth, wind, and fire music. What happened to water? I guess they were the water, huh? Water was already here. Like, notice how the creation of water never emerges. How was water created? You know what I'm saying? I know water and ice with frozen water, but where did water come from? Let's think about that. Because, like, beings of earth, but how did water come into existence? Hydrogen is the first element, okay? But what about water? Oxygen, but what makes it wet? Hmm. Hmm. So the first element is hydrogen. Then we have H2O, hydrogen, oxygen. So who created those elements and why, those elements just plasma is the fourth state of matter. Dark plasma then goes beyond that. So plasma can devolve back into water or ice, right? So it's like where the mystery is, where does water come from? Those elements help create the evolution and the de-evolution of spiritual and cosmic energies. Okay, so when I say spiritual and cosmic energies, I mean your soul, your spirits, people's souls and people's spirits. Um, you said holy water. Hmm. Plasma is the first water. Okay, so it reminds me a lot of that song "As" by Stevie Wonder. And I talk about that in another video. If you listen to that song as he says when everything becomes the opposite of what it was, that's how long he'll be loving you. Until parrots swim the sea. Mhm. Um, I have that album. Actually, I just ordered it. So water is heavenly because it's a reflection of the sky. Right. Fluid is transference. Aren't your elixirs fluid? Yes, of course. But what I'm saying is where and how and why wasn't it in a creation story? Everything else is in the creation stories. Why isn't water in there? That's my question. It's just very interesting that all the other things are in there, Hold on. I'm trying to show you guys something. I had to move a lot of stuff around in order to do so. Excuse me for all the noise. Pardon me. Okay. So I wanted to show you guys this. Songs in the Key of Life. Interesting photo. Don't you agree? It looks like fire, clouds, air. Looks like a sun. But anyway, I wanted to show you something. Mm-hmm. These have the lyrics. If It's Magic. That's a good song too. If it's magic. Oh wait, I can't sing any certain songs because I get copyright. Crazy, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's Saturn, another star. As. Okay, here's the song I was looking for. As. So as says that as around the sun, the earth knows she's revolving, and the rosebuds know to bloom in early May. Just as hate no loves the cure, you can rest your mind assure that I'll be loving you always. Okay, so what this first paragraph is trying to say is nature knows what to do. It doesn't have a free will. It just goes by what it's supposed to do. And this is why it says you can rest your mind assured. Don't worry that I'll be loving you always. So when humans evolved past animal stage, they got free will, their ability to think, and then they started to worry and fear and doubt and hate because they were given the knowledge of good and evil when they evolved out of animal stage. Okay, so this is the evolution. It says now, as now cannot reveal the mystery of tomorrow, but in passing will grow older every day. Just as all is born is new, do know what I say is true, that I'll be loving you always. So again, this is showing there's a higher consciousness that is higher than you because you are sitting here worried. We can't reveal, or that higher consciousness can't reveal to you what's going to happen tomorrow, or whatever, because you're not ready. You're not evolved enough, right? So, but just understand that is how it's supposed to be. So this will be coming from a 7D or a 9D being. Okay. Until the rainbow burns the stars out in the sky. Until the rainbow burns the stars out in the sky. That is metaphor. What is a rainbow? It's a color spectrum until the plasma color spectrum burns the stars out in the sky until water. See? So all this is like very, very, very deep. Like Stevie was super deep. Mm-mm. Rainbow comes when there's water hitting the mist, or it's like a gas, plasma, and until it burns out the sky, until the ocean covers every mountain, okay, until water takes over again, until the dolphin flies and the parrots live at sea. So this is de-evolution, okay? Um, so the whole song is about evolving and devolving, but in this perspective, this song is about devolving, okay? And did you know that true love asks for nothing? Her acceptance is the way we pay. Did you know that life has given love a guarantee to last through forever and another day? So to me, that means when they talk about love, it's talking about a frequency. Okay. Um, it's a frequency. It's a love of when you decide to evolve or devolve, it's out of a frequency. Like we didn't want that cake to burn. We didn't want the earth to burn. So we went ahead and shifted and heated it up from within, because if it was going to cook from outside and fry from the outside, then we're trapped and everybody dies. See? So the frequency of love means um, you have to sacrifice something that you may have worked for your entire life to save yourself and other people, basically. Um, Did you know? Okay, whatever. So the frequency of love would represent a higher frequency for certain beings. Hi, beautiful. I thought my palette. Sorry to interrupt. Oh, thank you for buying your palette. I appreciate that. I don't have anything to do with that other company. I just did a review on their products. So, but thank you for getting my palette. I appreciate that. Yeah, I have a makeup cosmetic line now. If you guys are interested, it's Level Up Cosmetics. I'll do a video on this another time, but it's on my Poshmark store, and I'm selling through there. I put the details when this is uploaded. Um, so today, as today I know I am living, but tomorrow could make me the past. But but that I mustn't fear. For I know deep in my mind the love of me I've left behind, because I'll be loving you always. So this is coming from a being that had to devolve in order to allow others to evolve. You see, when it was time, they have to give up the power in order to allow others to have power. That's the Kanye West song. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking. I just count the hours. You have the power to let power go. And what Kanye says in that song, it's the same thing as as this lyric means. So the beings inside the earth who rule the earth, who have the power to do all those things, must now give up their power to allow these humans and to ascend. So they have to devolve in order for us to evolve, or the whole planet is gone. You see? So that's what's happening. That's a shift. That's the whole end movie of Planet of the Apes, the new series. It's all of that. You must allow, or else everything will be destroyed. Okay. And Right. So you could also represent this as you can use races of people, you can use frequencies of people, you can use, alien beings who landed and controlled certain people, use them as puppets, as you can call them. But now it's time for those beings to leave, and without those beings, information and influence, certain people aren't going to have the power or knowledge that they had access to prior. Okay, so that's what happened. That's what's happening now. This is it's an original album. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the song. And this is, remember, he's blind, so his third eye is super active. And yeah, what are your thoughts on birth control? Don't need it no more. I'm too old. um, my thoughts on birth control: if you can't feed your baby, then don't have a baby. And don't think maybe if you can't feed your baby, you'll be on. Okay, let me stop before I get copyright. You'll be always crying. Stop trying to stop that child from crying. Whistling, stealing line. My baby slowly down. Be starting something. Okay. That's what I think about it. If you got the money, do what you need to do. I ain't no 29, I wish. Okay, I was looking for this other song, Another Star. There might be a brighter star, but through my eyes, the light of you is all I see. For you, there might be another song, another frequency, but all my heart can bear is your melody. That means all my heart, my electromagnetic frequency, all my heart can bear is just your melody. So long ago, my heart, without demanding, informed me that no other love could do. But listen, did I not, through understanding, I fell in love with one who could break my heart in two, lowered their heart frequency, you know, made them feel bad. Da, 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 da. This song beat, Stevie Wonder. So this goes back into the betrayals. For you, there might be another star, but through my eyes, the light of you is all that I see. For you, there might be another song, but in my heart, your melody will stay with me. So this is again a story of two types of people, one from another star system, the one who betrayed the other and broke the other's heart. So again, it's all through a lot of his music. Here's another one: if it's magic. If it's magic, then why can't it be everlasting? Like the sun that always shines. Like the poet's endless rhyme. Like the galaxies in time. Is if it's pleasing, then why can't it be never leaving? Like the day that never fails. Like on the seashores there are shells. Like the time that always tells. It holds the key to every heart frequency throughout the universe. They sound like Thanos. It fills you up without a bite. That's the sun. And quenches every thirst. So if it's special, then with it, why aren't we as careful? It's talking about melanin. As making sure we dress in style. That's clothes, that's covering, that's a skin. Posing pictures with a smile. keeping danger from a child, passing it on to your children. You're supposed to be giving them magic. It holds the key to every heart throughout the universe. It fills you up without a bite and quenches every thirst. So if it's magic, why can't it be everlasting? Like the lifetime of the sun, it will leave no heart undone, for there's enough for everyone. Stevie Wonder. Very underrated artist and writer. But most people, they like the song. Oh, that's a good song. But they don't know, they never took the time to look at the lyrics. Okay. It says Stevie Wonder was obviously high. Yeah, he was on high frequency. You're right. Imagine being high with high frequency. So, could ASMR really? Well, anyway. Yeah, he's still alive. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys. I told y'all before, but vinyl records, when you play them, they give you a higher frequency than digital because it's that ore magic, that ore energy. So if you can get one, you should. Ribbon in the sky for all love. Oh, so long for this night. The ribbon in the sky is the plasma in the sky. The northern lights. The what you call it? When the poles start to shift and the plasma clouds start to shift and people can see them where they couldn't see them before. The ribbon in the sky for our love, the love for each other. One will not let the other one be destroyed based on the love of self and the earth. That's the whole earth song was about. It's a struggle to give up power. But if you love yourself and you love the earth, you will, because you have to come back, or you want it so that you're able to come back. And I want to also let you guys know that when I say ascension, there are two types of ascension. There's earthly ascension and cosmic ascension. Okay, so just because you're a child of earth doesn't mean you can't go into the higher dimensions of earth. Just because, so that's what I was talking about. I think a lot of people didn't realize that there are several dimensions of earth, as well as several dimensions of cosmic ascension. So it doesn't matter. We both have both types of beings, children of the sun, children of the earth, both have to depend on each other for each other to exist at the same time in that frequency, okay, in that galaxy, in that star system. Children of the moon, the daemons. Atlantis. Yep. I'm getting that album next. I have one, but it's not that album. You're so tired of Earth though? Well, you gotta graduate to the cosmos. I believe the body is a bunch of particles moving super fast together, and it is an illusion because it's a frequency. It's a bunch of sound and light vibrating at a speed that makes it a physical body. So, mhm. Prophet Man by Temptations. Okay. Should you think we should get cremated? Like the phoenix with the ashes. It's better than being buried. Think about if you need to ascend or descend, think about buried. Think about being buried just in the state that they do it today. They embalm you with full of chemicals first, suck out all the good melanin in your organs, and it goes down into the biohazard. No, I'm not getting embalmed. I'm a mortician. I know the process. They suck out all your good melanin and it's going down the drain. Um, then they bury you. They basically pickle you with toxic chemicals and preserve your body so that it doesn't rot naturally back into the earth. Then they put you in a casket inside of a cement or bronze vault so that your body will never touch the earth. You see what I'm saying? Unless you get a funeral like a Muslim, when their body must directly touch the earth, um, and not be embalmed. If you get cremated, they don't touch your body. It's called direct cremation. You don't get a funeral where they see you and dress you or nothing. You just go from the hospital or wherever you were killed or wherever you passed away to the crematory into the fire. And the process of fire burning earth and water turning back into plasma and back into the ethers up the chimney is better than being embalmed or, you know. So there you go. If you were to be buried in the earth, then it would take you would become part of the earth, part of the tree, part of the whatever, the fungi, the grass, and you would have to start evolution all over again to become a conscious being. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm through the fire, through the living comes what may. I gotta go. Okay. hmm So I'm thinking in terms of conscious spiritual matter. What is best to be? Ether up into dark plasma or starting back all over in the soil as earth. Okay. Or deep down inside the earth where the water is, you know, a bacteria grows, whatever. Then you come out looking like some kind of duck platypus or something, and walking around in the earth. And then you got to go through that evolution, a couple of ice ages and meteors. And then to get your consciousness back. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting ready to do all that. Please burn me. If you love your loved ones, burn them after they die, though. After they die. Plus, you'll save a lot of money. A lot of money. They'll be free faster. See, who got you to start burying people? In ancient Egypt, they had a mummification process where they released the plasmas out of the organs through alchemy. Okay. Then they buried the remains that couldn't go. They don't do that in America or wherever else they embalm. This, they do everything wrong and backwards. And I am so glad that I was curious and went to school and became a mortician and learned all of this. I'm so glad, because if I didn't know, I would be starting myself from scratch all over, and I would be mad. Um, because elements and frequencies determine your level of consciousness. So, like the Stevie Wonder song was talking about, look, nature is basically on a schedule. It doesn't have free will, it doesn't have consciousness or thought. You do. Why would you throw it away? A lot of alchemists, a lot of great alchemists, they're not in their graves. It's an empty grave. Think about it. They want you to figure it out. Because if they told, oh, all alchemists, oh, they get cremated, that's the way to go. They want you to figure it out. hmm And if you want to start all over because you feel like you know too much and it would be take billions or millions of years, and whenever you did come back into consciousness, how far along would the earth be? If you were that curious and that intelligent as to think that I need a challenge, and you knew all of this stuff and you buried yourself, then that's a conscious decision to forget it all and start over and not have to worry and just be. hmm hmm I want my spirit to fly when I die. Okay, fly when you die. Like the flame. And you'll save a lot of money. Get direct cremation. Do not have an open casket funeral, because they, by law, they must embalm you if you have an open casket funeral. Just say direct cremation, then have you a memorial service. Okay. Don't do all that hooping and hollering and why wasn't it me jumping in the casket stuff. Just get cremated. Or Tanya Parker, thank you so much for the donation. I believe I can fly. Oh yeah, R. Kelly, his songs are heavily coded. I know a lot of y'all still triggered, but hopefully you guys realize that a lot of his songs are coded, and that's why they messing with him. Think about 12 play. That's the 12 chakra systems, the 12 dimensions. Temperatures rising. Okay, temperature is rising. Frequency is rising. I'm telling you, it's all a trigger. It's all to get you to look deeper. Sacrifice the self for the people's ascension. I told you them people sacrificed, not literally, but reputation wise, um, career wise. A lot of them may have faked their death wise to get you to wake up and to ascend, because the time is now. Um, yes, sacrifice. So just like if a cake is cooking from the outside and it's raw on the inside, in order to preserve the whole thing, two sides have to work together. You know what I'm saying? So it's just what it is. The commercial said, wake up, the time is now." That's true. So that's why you see all this crazy stuff happening in the media and, da da da. They're really trying to wake people up by sacrificing their reputations and stuff like that. People are going to be like, but remember, it's the same thing as having a empty grave. They want you to figure it out. They want you to figure it out. Hmm. Why code it? Because you wouldn't believe it if it wasn't coded. You don't care about stuff that's not hidden from you or secret. You don't even listen to it. You know, you just hear what you want. So it has to be coded for those who seek. When you find something hidden, it's a treasure. If it's just sitting up out there free, take one. It's not very valuable at all. Um, you just looked up Einstein and Tesla are both cremated. Scientists. Scientists either do cremation or body to earth burial, or they donate their body to science. And then after those bodies are used, they cremate them anyway. hmm So there's a movie about Tesla and Einstein coming out. Cool. I'll watch it. You think the immigration uproar is planned? I'm going to tell you about the immigration stuff. That stuff was already happening. They just putting a spotlight on it to show you how human trafficking is created with those children, how they're probably stealing organs from those people as well. That stuff been happening. He's just putting a spotlight on it. They've been doing that. That's not new. They just didn't tell you. Now that Trump is putting and sacrificing his reputation for the greater good once again, and allowing himself to devolve in order for us to evolve. Sorry, my eyelash. That's what is happening. Most people won't understand it because they're not on the frequency to evolve yet. Until somebody points it out, they keep doing it over and over. It's a pattern until somebody sees it and says, "You don't see this?" It's a sacrifice of reputation, of fame, of whatever, whoever is doing the sacrificing to wake you up for ascension. They will descend so you can ascend. Okay. Um, how do you get to that frequency? Knowledge, read, match a frequency, know thyself, you know, less drinking and alcohol and smoking and not focusing on what's going on around you, more being focused and in tune with yourself and what's going on so you can see, right? hmm So many people have sacrificed their reputations, careers, lives in order for us to ascend. Okay. Once you get a certain amount of knowledge, power, and frequency, you become one of those beings, one of those 7D, 8D, 9D beings on the astral realm, or not 9D, but close. You able to, you can contact them. Once you are in contact and able to ascend to that level, in order to help other people ascend, you got to come back down to their level and give them something they can comprehend and understand and vibrate on. You know, um, and like Tesla, he said he was in communication with some beings or whatever, whatever. But no matter what he did, the scientists, all those people really wouldn't listen to him. So what did he have to do in order to get his message out? He had to make a death ray. He had to get their attention. He had to, oh, well, this is the death rate will end all. He had to get them understanding that he had some knowledge. Once he said weapon, everybody was his friend. Everybody wanted, ooh, what you got? Because he was dealing with lower frequency people. So when he was trying to say, "Oh, well, we can have free electricity, or we can make this type of, if we did this, the world would be this," and they weren't listening to that. They weren't listening to heal the world. Okay. Then as soon as you started talking about kick me, kike me, don't you black or white me, and what did he say? You know, anyway, I'm so sorry. Once you start talking certain talk, people listen, you know. Um, once he started talking about death ray and the thing to end all wars, and I got this powerful technology and stuff. Oh, they started listening and spying on him after that. You see, he got their attention. So he had to sacrifice his whole thing for giving people, giving power to the people, and to risking, you know, um, a great weapon getting into the hands of the wrong people. But he fooled them because that great weapon has to be powered by higher consciousness that they did not possess. Okay. So joke was on them, but he did what he had to do. Um, through my rise and fall, you be my only friend. Hmm. Tell me that they can't understand me. I am, so I always hear. Talking to each other again. Mirror on the wall. Lil Wayne, Bruno Mars. Okay. Woody to Buzz. Toy Story. Yep. All the movies, all of it. So you got to understand that. And whenever you hear, like, don't be like, okay, just as we look at nature and animals and how they are um, instinctual, we can predict their behaviors. This is how these beings are doing the majority of people who are triggered. You don't understand this? They know your triggers. They know your instincts. So they when they know that you're awake is when you start putting it together and start thinking about it. It's like, so as a higher frequency will predict a certain group of people to react a certain way after they've been told a certain thing. That's instinct. That means they're playing on your mind and how you're less conscious than they are. And they're waiting to see who is going to evolve. Is it worth the sacrifice? Is there enough people awake to sacrifice ourselves for them? Trading Places movie, exactly. They brought Eddie Murphy in, gave him a suit. Then he got rich because him and Dan Aykroyd was like partnering up because it was an experiment. And let's switch places and see what happens. Thriller. Um, so hi, I'm live once again. You looking for the kids? Okay. Um, right. So they're trying to see is it even worth? Are they gonna wake up? How many people are actually awake? Is it a waste of time? Should we just all die? Do we need a little bit more time? Can we roll it out a little bit more? You know, um, and so now it's like thank you, Folake. Folic. Thank you, Folakey. I hope I'm saying it right. I just pronounce all of the pronunciations and hope one of them is right. Thank you for the donation. So, now everyone is trying to help, you know, people wake up by putting in all these messages and songs and music, because if we don't wake up and if we don't vibrate at a certain frequency and things like that, a lot of people aren't going to be where they could be or should be. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, spiritually, and physically. Hmm. You have been teaching your 7-year-old on how to decode the song "We Are Young." Cool. What's on your thoughts on real people sacrifices in the industry, like Illuminati? Da, 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 da. My thoughts on that is fake power. Um, I talk about that in another other videos. It's a temporary um, high, or it's a message to someone else, or it's a I got to get them before they expose us type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Or it's a sacrifice to evolve. It goes deep. But if you're already evolved, you don't need a sacrifice. And most people don't know who they are. And that's how they get tricked. You know what I'm saying? Think about this. If you did the life work of your spirit soul, and you evolved your conscious naturally through learning, through discipline, through diet, through life lessons, you wouldn't have to make no Illuminati sacrifices, because you already know you're a dragon. You can go in and out at will. You have all the power from start. You were born with it, the magic. So those people that don't know who they are, they fall for the okey doke. That's why number one rule is know thyself, not ask someone who you are or try to become someone. Okay, well, if it's an act of devolving. You get into the entertainment industry and you don't know thyself, they will devolve you. You got to come in there knowing who you are. Like, that's why people say, well, Jay-Z waited till he was 26 to drop his first album. At least he knew who he was. You know, at least he knew what he was doing. So that's how I can say it. What if defining yourself is an illusion? It's not an illusion, because it all boils down to frequency. Just like Tesla said, you know your frequency, you can do a lot of different things than people say you can't. If you know your frequency, if you understand your frequency, no one can pull an okey doke on you. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. No matter what is said, what is done, if you know your frequency, know thyself, know who you are, know what a frequency is, know what an illusion is, no one can do anything to you. It's just like the little boy in the Matrix saying, you don't bend the spoon, right? The spoon is not there. You're not bending a spoon. You're a frequency. Okay. Hmm. Red is a low vibrating frequency cover, yet MJ tethered is you, us. See, because you're not thinking on a different level of the red and black represent something totally different than the chakra system. It represents a group of people. Yeah, so you got to be careful. Certain symbols put together represent something totally different. Okay, red and black are the colors of certain beings. That means from the lowest to the highest. That's dragon. Red to dark plasma. Black to ether. Right. Blood red. Right. Exactly. Blood in, blood out. That's what it is. Um, so when you see black and red on black people, that's what it means. There you go. Hmm. Right, right, right. So everything is a frequency. Harmony is what happens when two frequencies are on two different scales, and the harmony creates a totally different sound, a totally different universe, a totally different frequency. If there is no harmony, nothing new can be created as far as that sound. So the harmony between a planet and the cosmos, when you hear the sounds of Saturn or the sounds of Neptune or the sounds of Earth, that is the frequency against the other frequency of the dark plasma. It's a harmony. So both are needed to create, to be even having creation within, it's a vibration of two separate types of frequencies. And the harmony, not the balance, but the harmony is what creates. Do you want to exist or do you want to be creator? To exist is to have balance. To create is to have harmony. So if this kind of goes back to Thanos, how when he snapped, that was two frequencies not in harmony. Okay. One didn't want to go, the other one. So you got to think about that. If when the snap goes down, you need to be in harmony. Right. When Thanos snaps, y'all need to be in harmony. Like the Lion King song says. In perfect harmony. Okay. Can you feel the love tonight? Y'all go look at them lyrics. So now that we talked about the elements, harmony, and that in order to create, you must have the harmony. Remember that Stevie Wonder song with Paul McCartney back in the 80s? Hi. You said you from Africa? How you doing? You from Edo, Nigeria? That's because ancient Japanese people came from Africa. Mhm. Um, hmm that's true. First, it was Black, the Asian race. Right. The evolve and the devolve. That's exactly what it's going to go back to. The Black Asian. Um, if you do research, the oldest DNA comes from a Aboriginal, Aboriginal Australian woman, which is a bunch of Asian and African mixed together. Um, Now, that being said, that means like a lot of people prior to this life cycle are, this version of humanity. All fractal fantasy. Beyonce was the game where red and black with the dragon girl from the game. Yep, that's cool. Thank you for the donation. A fractal fantasy. So think about how Aboriginal um, people look. They don't look like the typical new version of humanity. You know, um, these people probably survived from the last cycle, and in order to survive, you had two large continents come together and mix into one, and then that's what you have, the new indigenous people. And then once, another evolution of man began, some different type of elements and different species evolved and da 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 da. Then you have this type of man, this type of man. So we could, some of us could survive into the next cycle, and we might be looking a little different. And we may carry the oldest bloodline according to their knowledge, or blood type, or whatever, according to their knowledge. And this starts all over again. So just understand that everything happens in a cycle over and over again. It's like a game. It's like a game. And someone asked me in another video, when Drake says checks over stripes, that's what I like in the sicko mode video. Well, checks represent victory, Nike, right? In the rings of Saturn, right? Stripes represents part of the grid, part of the creator. So that's why you have Beyonce creating with Adidas, and you have Drake sitting up there with Nike, because some people want to win. They like to be on top. That's what he talks about in Money in the Grave. Like, I don't want to drop from the top, whatever. So Drake Dragon, Drake Dragon represents not wanting to fall so others can ascend. And if you watch the Meek Mill video with Drake, and they're at this table signing contracts, it's like he's giving over everything to Meek Mill, because Drake represents um, exactly what he is, because he's half Jewish. So he's in music, that's what he represents. But he's giving a power, he's giving to people, like in that video, God's Plan, giving money. And he's saying, put my money in the grave. That means I'm coming back as a more melanated being when I return. So put all that back into the grave. And Going Bad, that's the name of it. And then Money in the Grave. So perhaps, so Drake plays the character of those who have to sacrifice themselves in order for others to evolve and go to the higher place, as far as money, knowledge, privilege, and things like that. hmm You asked to see the boss, so they sent me, dog. Right? Don Corleone. Trust me, at the top, it isn't lonely. So he's forced, like a Drake dragon is forced to devolve so he can evolve again. So we become the new dragons, and the old dragons become us again. They are reborn through us. So the old dragons will become the new humans, right? Okay, that's how it will work. You have to be reborn through, you know, a future offspring from a family or whatever, a family member. So they will have to descend back into the cycle so we can get up. Okay. Yeah. Enter the dragon. Enter the dragon to the plasma. Middle child. Return of the dragon. Right. So when you see a dragon, what you're seeing is a evolved person that has access to Earth and the cosmos, as well as to creation. When you see man, you see someone that has to evolve back into a dragon. Or they call it the phoenix, the rising phoenix. Okay, so phoenix is a raptor. This is why Raptor and Drake was on the Raptors, because a phoenix is a raptor. A raptor was a dinosaur that evolved into a bird. A bird is a raptor now, and then a dragon because it has reptile DNA. It has feathers. Okay, so that's why he was all over, the basketball court talking about Raptors, this and that, and then his logo is a bird, uh, an owl, which is also a raptor. If any bird with talon claws is a raptor. Ravenclaw and Harry Potter are the raptors. hmm So they're the bird version of. If you combine all the houses in Harry Potter, you get the dragon. So you have the mammal, which is the Hufflepuff, which is like that a beaver or a badger or something. That's like a earth um, water animal. You have the reptile, which is the Slytherin. Then you have the Ravenclaw, which is a raptor. Um, Not a raven, but a Ravenclaw. Raptors have black claws. Um, Ravenclaw, black claw. Okay, then you have the Gryffindor, which is a lion, right? hmm It's a beast, an animal of the land. You have the lion bird, and yeah. So you have combine them all, and you have a dragon, right? Like in Beyonce song, sometimes you can interchange lion with dragon. Like I'm the dragon breathing fire, beautiful man. I'm the lion. So in alchemy, they're interchanged. Lion and dragon can be interchanged. Um, so right. hmm The year of the dragon. So you gonna get a sacrifice with the Dracula talk? You so-called Black Americans are already black hybrids like Blade. I was telling Sasha that the other day. Yes, if you have Rh negative blood and you are Black, African American, heavily melanated, you are like Blade. hmm That's why he has to keep taking that antidote. And he doesn't really need blood. He just has to keep his frequency on a certain level. hmm Indeed. Rh negative blood is not good nor bad. It's just a different frequency. It's kind of like I always revert it back to the people of Atlantis and their frequency combined with other frequencies. And then, because there's so many people that try to keep that bloodline going because it is an ancient, people don't know it's not an ancient, but it's like more of a dragon. That's why they use the reptile reference. It's beings who have ascended and descended and come from the Anunnaki, the cosmos, the Dogon tribe. Dogon translates into dragon, Dogon, dragon, dragon, Dogon, dragon. You see? So you got dragons, you got Dogons, and then you got Dogami. You got all these cultures that talk about these deities that start with the word D. Gone, it's all dragon. These are ascended and descendant beings that have come in and out. Um, some were some were made to start over. Some wanted to rule, and in order to leave, they have to devolve. You know. Okay. Yeah, there's all different cultures with the same type of dragon or serpent beginning or serpent gods or whatever. And that just represents an evolved version of themselves. You know how people will say, oh, if aliens come back, they'll probably just be evolved or futuristic evolved versions of humans to come back and help them evolve. And that's exactly what it is. The Nagas, right? So the serpent, dragon, serpents that came from the sky, dragons, you know. And I'm not talking about literal dragons. Why do y'all think the Game of Thrones show is so popular? The dragon represents an evolved being with every sense of its element: earth, air, fire, water, ether, dark plasma. hmm Vampires, not really. Only certain beings would. Vampirism is actually a choice, um, and they say it's a curse. But if you weren't of nature, how would you know you were cursed in the first place? You know what I mean? So let me tell you about like really what vampires represent. Vampires represent a former self that has been cursed. They have knowledge of a former self. Okay. When you don't have knowledge of a former self and you're just a parasite, then you can't be considered a vampire because think about it. You're a mosquito or a leech. You didn't have no choice. You didn't have no former memory of what it was like not to be a leech. This was a choice, or it could have been done by force, but you have a consciousness prior to being a bloodsucker. So, vampirism is a choice or a state of consciousness that you perfectly understand that you were something else before, right? So, mhm. So in nature, parasites and certain types of animals, they work in harmony with each other in nature. Vampires, however, have a consciousness of being something else before. And knowing that and choosing to be within that realm for a false sense of power, of eternal life in a dead body. So think about that for a second. Eternal life in a dead body who must drink the blood of the living. They have no heartbeat, aka low frequency. Chupacabra. No. Am I really choosing what goes on in my life right now? Is this ain't right. Everything you do has an effect on the outcome and what your life will be tomorrow. So, yes, you are. If you choose to get drunk and wake up late for work and have a bad mood and get fired, yes, you chose to do that. If you choose to stay out late knowing your wife about to leave you because she done warned you 18,000 million times and you out in the club, looking at booties or whatever, that's your choice. If you out on the street next week. So, yes, it is your fault. It is your choice. You might not take responsibility for it because your consciousness will not allow you to because you don't think that you're in control and you think that you're an animal, but you are in control. You have free will. So, yes, it is your fault. Um, mhm. All goes back to self. Exactly. See, animals, we want to act like animals, but be treated like humans. The animals, they may be hungry, and their instinct is going to tell them to go eat food or they'll starve. When they leave their nest because their instinct rules them to go get food, and a snake comes and eats their babies, you know, um, they couldn't help that because their instinct is stronger than their free will or mind. Your free will is stronger than your instincts. Therefore, you need discipline and you need to understand the laws of cause and effect, universal law. Then your life will go according to how you choose it to go. Okay? So you're not driven by your hunger or instinct. You make choices unless you want to be treated like, an animal. Take responsibility for yourself. My instinct is stronger according to how I was raised without free will. Well, so you were raised like an animal. Well, now it's time to evolve into a human by exercising your free will. Okay. By exercising, by taking the bite of the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Okay. So don't be an animal, be a person, evolve. Sometimes you have to do what people say is wrong in order to even evolve because they want a pet. They want a pet. Just like on Planet of the Apes, them little apes, Caesar got mad. He's like, I'm not a pet. Am I a dog? Why do I have on a leash? He woke up. He got mad. Do y'all remember Planet of the Apes, the new version where they took Caesar out in the forest and he was walking around and he saw a dog on a leash and he was on a leash. He got mad. Am I a pet? He was doing sign language. He couldn't speak then. And as soon as he started exerting his free will, he began to speak. He evolved. And so we have to think about that. We cannot live as animals or pets under other people's ruling over us. We need to be able to have our own say in what we do. That's why religion controls people because it allows you to stay in a more animalistic state instead of evolving. That's why you got to get out of religion. So, if your religion keeps you from evolving, they want you to stay as an animal. Okay. And that ain't right. Okay. You need this message tonight. I'm so happy. I remember movie in Heavy Science, Caesar and Tahuti, and yep, no question. And remember when they put Caesar in the chimp pound or chimp jail, and he was the smartest one. He was evolved, and there was another one that was kind of smart because he had been in the circus around humans, not animals. He had been around more humans than animals, so he was naturally evolving because of his frequency. So Caesar, you know, went out into the yard like it was prison, and all these other apes and chimps wanted to fight him because they were on the animalistic side. But he saw that there was potential and released it like in a plasma form, a gas, like those foggers that they do for insects. He released this chemical that made him smart to all the apes while they were asleep. And so when they woke up the next morning, they were smarter. And so that's how he started to get them to all work together to free themselves. So he had to wake up those apes first and get them to work together before they could escape and be free. But basically, what that movie is saying is, and if y'all aren't awake, y'all will never be free. Hmm. Men definitely want to keep you as a pet. If you Free will is an illusion, the grandest of illusion. That's true, but it's still higher than an animal's instinct. That's why I was reading that Stevie Wonder lyric. A 7D and 8, 9D being has more control than you do, but you still have more control than an animal. That's why in the Bible they said, "Oh Adam, you over these animals." So yes, it is an illusion compared to a ninth dimensional being, but compared to an animal, it's a lot better. Right. I rather be an illusion. I rather be in an illusion than be ruled by my instinct as an animal. I might be ruled by my free will from a 9D being. I would look funny. Oh, she thinks she got free will. She don't know I'm pulling these strings. But yes, I do. But I'm trying to tell you guys that some of y'all are still in animal thinking. I know that's what channeling is. When you channel, when you sit here and zone and start saying stuff and didn't write nothing down and it all checks out, that's not free will. That's channeling. That's frequency. That's becoming a stripe. That's becoming a creator. So I already understand that I'm not at a level that, thank you, Kiki Thompson. I already understand that my free will is not real. But for those who don't even know they have free will, I gotta tell them they at least have that, and then they evolve to the next level. So you at least have to exercise the illusion of free will in order to get to the next level of your consciousness. So a lot of us that are on this earth right now, we may go in and out while we sleep, while we daydream, while we channel and get information, pick up frequencies. Maybe we're a little bit on a different frequency, but if other people still think that they're, you know, not in control by exerting the free will, how will you ever be a creator if you can't even exercise your free will? Okay, it is an illusion, but if you don't master that illusion, how are you going to master creation? Yeah, that's how it works. Power is illusion, right? Power is illusion, especially when If you don't let it go, you will be destroyed. So that's why in Kanye West it says you have the power to let power go. That's the real power to understand that there's only harmony and sacrifice, and there's only understanding on a higher frequency. hmm I started sleeping with amethyst under my pillow, and my dreams have been intense. Cool. I got the power. I got the power. Mhm. So once you realize it was all a dream, I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and pepper all heavy up in the limousine. Once you understand that lyric, you got it. hmm How do you treat or calm your vampirism? Get some melanin. Switch out blood for chlorophyll. Switch out meat for plants. You know what I'm saying? There's more. I'm serious. There's more. There's plant melanin. It's called chlorophyll. hmm You remember? I know y'all don't. I know y'all probably never watched Vampire Diaries, but it had a lot of information in that too. There was a cure for vampirism, and they would take this cure and it would turn you back to human. You know. So, mhm. Do you allow doctors to take your blood? Um, the last time anybody took my blood, I think I was pregnant, and they did like a test. Yeah, but yeah, so that's what it was. Oh, do you remember someone named Mika? Micah? Mika? Are y'all talking to me? Blood transfusion. hmm So, right. Anyway. Oh, you asking me? I don't know. Like I'm bad with names. I don't really know too many people, so probably not. I think I remember the cure for vampirism was the blood from the original being or Vampire Diaries. Hmm. I need to look that up because I forgot who it was from too. But if that's true, then I swear this the best school I ever attended. I'm filling the blank. Thank you. What do I think about the Lima? I like Soph. Um, Don't let me get into that. What was the name of those flashcards you learned hieroglyphs? I actually have them in here. My little drawer. Right here's I keep this one up here. Um they're called mhm, MDW. Hold on. There might be a card in here. It's a very long name. MDWN. I'll just hold it up. And it's the Kira Jehudi Heru Neb Hu Publishing Company. Okay. Let's see if they have a website. Consciouscreations.com or M. I'll try to put it up later, but I can't. It's like just a bunch of stuff. You can take a screenshot and reverse it. Anyway, this is a private company. You can't like buy these in the store. They sell their own stuff and had them made. So these are like what they need. But I keep this one up here. Anyway, all that like the old shows, yeah, buffering, flashcards, and hardware. Thank you, Renato. Hey, Shira, have you considered starting a school? No. I have a Patreon, but I have a Patreon you can join. It's called Decoding with Ashira. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. This is school. Well, on the Patreon, we kind of, I go live without a lot of people, the public on YouTube. I post things, teach things, break down things, put pictures and examples and stuff like that in posts. So it's kind of like that, but it's not as organized. How do you decode without a Shira? You can get a symbolism book or years of knowledge. Use Google. Well, I actually teach how to decode. Like I show my breakdown process so that you can then go and take any video or thing and break it down the same way. hmm The Patreon has helped your decode skills. Good, Lakasha. Yeah, I show them how I break it down, how you know, I I have it all down there and how it was broken down. hmm Right. And there's just some things that you have to really know history. You got to know history, the true history, not the fake history. Got to know that true history in order to to also decode on a deeper level. hmm You saw me in somebody else's video. Ooh, I've been in a few people's videos. This summer has been so hot. Can you talk about it? Yeah, it's going to be the hottest summer in um, because the temperature of the earth is rising. The frequency of the earth is rising. That means it's speeding up, which means it's going to be hot. Hot, hot, hot. It's only going to get hotter, not colder. Only going to get hotter. We're in July and it's been cool over here. Where you at? Where you live? Where do you live? It's almost July. Why do people keep saying you're running out of time? Because time is not going to exist once certain people get to the seventh dimension. Okay, let me tell y'all a movie to watch. The Arrival. It's going to be crazy until the end, then you're going to understand. The Arrival gets rid of time. The arrival of this craft that turns back into dark plasma at the end brought the gift of understanding time. hmm and being able to live past, present, future at the same time. Okay, that's the kept falling. Just watch the last 15 minutes of it then if you keep falling asleep, and you'll see. No, not Charlie Sheen. Um, it has what's that? She has red hair in it. Is it Amy Adams? Mm, that lady in it. Okay, has a lady in it, and she's a decoder. They brought her in to decode. She was the one that saved the earth. The decoder saved the earth. Yes, it was decoder. Tee-hee. That's why I tell y'all, you need to learn how to code. You need to learn how to decode, y'all. So they spoke or they used symbols to communicate. And she was like one of the best decoders in the world or whatever. So they got her and to come down to like the alien ship. And everybody else failed, got killed, died. She was a woman. And I'm not gonna give away the movie, but she decoded that stuff and saved the world. Yeah, it's called The Arrival. The Arrival. Let me look it up. Make sure it's the right movie. The Arrival. Okay, I'll show you the picture of what it looks like. This movie. Yeah, I see Forrest Whitaker in it. The Arrival. um, no, Charlie Sheen is not in it. I think that's an old school movie that you're talking about. This is more. I think this was in 2015 or something. This is Arrival. I think it's just called Arrival, not The Arrival, but Arrival. Sorry, just put Arrival. Arrival. This is what y'all are thinking. The Arrival. I'm so sorry, but I mean that's a good one too. But this one is just called Arrival. This is the one that I'm speaking about. hmm What are my qualifications? I'm black. I got brown, melanated, you melanated skin. Okay, there you go. I'm tired of having to explain myself to fools. I'm so sorry. It's just like there's sometimes when you get that dumb, stupid question that you have to snap. What are your qualifications? Well, I went to Harvard University, studied up under some fake history that you gave us that wasn't true, that you stole and couldn't use. Then I went back, got my real history. I'm tired, y'all. This is so much you can take. Water. I had to drown my energy from rising too fast. What qualifies me? Quit wasting time with. I'll tell you what qualifies me. Not you. That movie was good. Right. Hmm. Etymology is one of the best places to start. Yeah. I'm always looking up word meanings and the etymology of partial word meanings to break down a word. Like if you can't find the meaning and the meaning of the word doesn't make sense, do the etymology of the word and break down the word in syllables. You can go even deeper. Hmm. No, I just like to mess with people and thank you. I woke up and started writing in Mayan numbers and I was like, what? Okay. Wow. I bet a lot of people are going to start doing stuff like that, and especially channeling, especially children. Think about this. I think children are going to start being more like teachers. Now hear me out, because they're channelers. Their frequencies are naturally high. They're going to pick up on stuff you're not. And if you think about like the utopian societies that, they make fantasy on television, or you go back to like some ancient time, they have like a child emperor, or even the never ending story in the 80s, if you was an 80s kid. It all goes back to it to children because their frequency is so high they can channel. Okay. They might not know what they're saying, just like in Arrival. If y'all saw that movie, remember her kid kept drawing stuff and channeling stuff, and she had no idea that what that child was channeling was the future. And then, right, so children are going to become like the new bringers of knowledge. So listen to them. Why do you always think I have Sasha and Layla and everywhere asking them questions? Because they have more answers and they can channel easier. Hmm. Right. They could have more upgraded DNA too, right? Because they're a newer version of us. Uh-huh. Stranger Things, exactly. That show about kids. I still want you to break down the Book of Eli and Children of Men. Book of Eli is Book of Enoch. Um, Children of Men, Black Lady with a Baby. I mean, that's pretty much self-explanatory. The lady who got pregnant had a higher frequency. Her pregnancy stayed. She was able to withstand the environment. I had a dream. It was in some type of academy full of children. It was A student. You was a student also in my age now. I'm 37. Life is Earth is a school. That means you have much to learn. If you keep seeing yourself in school, it means you're still learning. You still haven't graduated. You still in school, even though you old. There's much more to learn. Earth is a school, and your subconscious mind is trying to tell you to continue learning this and all that kind of stuff. Uh huh. Doctor Strange. Hmm. We are in the Earth school. Exactly. So, Bible says a child will lead them. Exactly. Hmm. Some say children are still retaining some memory of. Yeah, I know I know Layla did. I recorded her on a video when she was just talking. Sound to most people, it sound like she was talking nonsense, but it adds up perfectly as to what's going on right now. And I think I shared that a while ago on my community feed. And she talks about going from Jupiter to Saturn and the magic spell and turn around and come back after two times and um, the earthquakes in the sky and um, just a lot of stuff that really tells you what's happening right now. And she was talking about that at like 3 and 4 years old. So I recorded it. It's on video. It's on either this channel or I think it's on this channel or my other channel. I'll find it and I'll post it in the community section. But I think I've posted it before. Hmm. So children channel. Okay. They may not have read a book, they may not have gone to school, but they can tell you in their own words what's going on or what's to come. I'll post it. I'll find it and I'll post it. What about dreaming about being in an apartment? Apartment is your body, a temporary dwelling place. Okay. I have a frequent dream that I'm evolved into the goddess and bird's eye view of Egypt flying over the it means that your consciousness is growing into that of a goddess slash god consciousness and being able to see things from the viewpoint of a bird, which means you have ascended to see things. You see the whole chessboard. You're not a pawn anymore. You know? So you see the bigger picture. Not You're not a actor in the movie. You are the director of the movie, or you're you know the producer. And you can see what needs to be done or where did you see things on a higher perspective. Okay. Um, my little sister hears ringing voices sometimes, frequencies. It's like a radio station. You got to be tuned to the right frequency in order to get rid of the static. It's just adjusting. Um, how come I haven't had a dream like that? I don't know. Ashira, remember how you said you could not find your glasses? I never found them. Still haven't found them. Unless the dog snatched them, because they I don't think he would do that because no dog has ever really done that. And pull them so deep under the bed that I couldn't even see them under the bed. No, they totally just disappeared. They're gone. Hmm. My nephew told me I was going to die. He said it clearly. He can't speak well. I wonder what he meant. Everybody gonna die. You're gonna die. Everyone's gonna die. But death is a birth. So saying you're gonna die is like saying you're gonna be born. Um, have you ever heard of someone seeing themselves from above, looking down and watching themselves? Yeah, I sure have. Why do we lose those abilities as we get older? Because we start listening to lies. and not ourselves. As soon as you're put in school or as soon as your parents start to teach you certain things, you lose that frequency because the truth vibrates at a certain frequency. And once you start getting fed lies, your frequency lowers. You know? That's why I never give your children religion. Not literally. Wait till they're old enough to understand it and to be able to interpret it correctly and decode it. That way it will vibrate higher with them. hmm Lies is like death, right? Do you believe in reincarnation? Of course I do. Sure. Have you the movie trailer, the current? Nope, haven't seen. Who's in it? I might have. And sure, when two birds tap on the, what does it mean? Please, I've researched it on. It's a spirit. Tap, tap. That's what I've heard. It's a spirit, or it could be a woodpecker. My kids are not going to school. Everyone is just in a box and proud, right? It's about Tesla and Edison. Oh, okay. Oh, really? This the current war. Is that a movie? Uh-uh. The movie trailer. Okay. Someone was telling me about that earlier. I'm gonna write that down so that I can check that out later. The current war. See, I told you they're bringing Tesla out right now because y'all need to know some stuff. The current war. That's a play on words. The frequency war. Currently happening now. Even in the Drake song, Omerta, he's talking about they testing us on they're testing machinery on us. Go look up the lyrics to Omerta by Drake. It's his new song. He's talking about how they're testing machinery on us, frequency machinery. Do you think you a part fallen angel? Fallen angel, fallen angle, fallen ray, fallen being, descendant being, descendant. Well, right now I am. Um, I feel like that's also a play on words because if you're on a certain frequency and you're beyond a level of consciousness and you come back down so that you could either A, teach, B, exploit, or C, do both at the same time. I feel like that's what I feel. And there is going to be a time where one side is going to have to sacrifice itself for the other. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about it. If you don't have two sides, you can't sacrifice one of them. You must be both. hmm Basically, okay, so if you don't have two sides, you can't sacrifice one for the other. You'd have to sacrifice your entire self. You know what I mean? So, for example, if you don't have fame, let's say a famous celebrity, if they couldn't sacrifice their fame, well, they would have to sacrifice something else. Um, but if you have your fame, you can easily sacrifice your fame. You could easily sacrifice that to devolve yourself. And I was talking about that earlier, and um, So let's say you have a career. Let's say you were a doctor and, you know, they took your license away from you. And, you know, that's a sacrifice. If you didn't have anything and you did something, they would just shoot you. you know, if you killed somebody in surgery from negligence, they're not going to shoot you. They're just going to take your license. Swoop. If you kill someone due to negligence and you don't have a medical license, they're going to put you in what? Prison. So you need to have more than one side in order to sacrifice one to the other. Um, it's survival, right? So that's why I'm saying you need to have more than one thing going on. Because when it's time to sacrifice, you need to be able to throw something down and be like, okay, oh yeah, I'm still here. Okay, so always like if you don't have anything, if you have the bare minimum, it's like, what are you going to sacrifice? You're going to get the work. You're going to have, how they always have in the movies, the first person to die is the black person. You know how they used to do that, or how they still do it. That's the sacrifice. Okay, the melanin was the sacrifice. The melanin was the sacrifice that created the fallen angels. They sacrificed their melanin and lightened with the other people of Earth. That's why you always see in the sacrificial melanated being, because they sacrificed their melanin. Gone. People will view that many different ways, but that's another reason why they do it too. There's more deeper meaning behind the sacrifice. hmm Michael Barr movies is coming out either this year or next year. Wow. hmm MJ sacrificed a lot. Let me look at it. He sacrificed his melanin, not his U melanin, but his U melanin, but he can always produce more. He sacrificed so much stuff, reputation, career, life, but he's still alive somewhere because he had money and he had friends in high places. Why? Because you have to, for the greater good. He was a genius, right? So that's why I try to push a lot of people to have more than one thing going for them, more than one avenue, more than one point of view, more than one way of thinking, because you're going to have to sacrifice one for the other sooner or later. But it's best to have something to choose from, because your free will is very important. Um, because if you understand that there's a higher consciousness, then your free will to choose has already been chosen for you. And you already know it. So you make sure that you put something in place to be sacrificed, or you put a part of yourself in place to be sacrificed. Okay. It could be one part of yourself. Like it could be giving up meat. It could be giving up drinking. It could be giving up your career. It could be giving up, um, you know, something. But you're going to have to do it sooner or later. So you better have more than one thing going on so you don't be totally gone. If you are on that level of consciousness, of knowing that some people don't even know that they're going to be sacrificed or that they will have to make a choice one day. But just in case you do, you better have something to sacrifice, like a career, a title, you know, a diet, something. hmm Sacrificed why? Because in order to teach, you must be an example. And sometimes that example creates, or sometimes that example requires a sacrifice. Not like, oh, I'm going to go kill someone, but a self sacrifice. You have to give up something. Sometimes to sometimes to shine light on something, you must sacrifice yourself. You must dim your light. You must turn off your light so that it can be pointed in another direction for the greater good. Um, you must look bad so that the very subject that you are being accused of has a spotlight shined on it, because that's what you really want to put the emphasis on, not yourself. It's right. Migos wrote a song about it. Check it out. It's with Big Sean called Sacrifices. Okay, let me write that down. You know, like sometimes I get bored and I need stuff to go look. So thanks. Hope it has code in it. Um, I okay, so have more than one thing going so you can sacrifice it and keep it moving. Do you have gold flecks in your eyes? I don't know. I don't look into my own eyes. I just know they brown. Mhm. Mhm. I can deliberately dream to find what I lost. Wonderful. That's a good talent. See if you can find my glasses. They disappeared. Mhm. Have you heard Tyler the Creator's new song Igor? Yep. Earthquake with the F. Could you make my earthquake? That's funny. That video is funny. Heavily coded, yes. Um, the cross was the last sacrifice. The cross is when people try to cross into the ethers and they sacrifice themselves, trying to get up out of here. Um, if they don't make it, they reincarnate and they make sure, hopefully, they come back into a melanated body so they can cross the ionosphere. Mm-hmm. Meet you at the crossroads so you don't be lonely. Right. Thank you. I like the song Rodeo. Me too. Lil Nas X. What do you think about donating blood or organs? I ain't doing. I've donated blood. I will never donate my organs. I need that upon ascension. Okay. Don't donate your organs. Sorry for people that, unless, I mean, you can donate your organs if you want, but if you are you melanated, do not donate your organs. If you have brown, dark skin, don't donate your organs. Keep them. Okay. Do not donate your organs. If you black, brown, Mexican, dark Indian, do not donate them. You need them. Okay. Yes. Mm-hmm. I never put organ donor on your ID. Please don't. Please let me know if you still do read. Nope, don't do readings anymore. I'm so sorry. Latasha, I no longer do readings. Um, ethers is the fifth element. It's the plasma, dark matter, dark plasma, the energy that goes up into the cosmos. Um, not that type of plasma. The fourth element, the fourth state of matter. I'm sorry. Right, right, right. Sure, where do melanated people's souls go after? Depends on their level of consciousness and frequency and if they know what to do or not. And so it's very important to learn on earth because some will just do what it was told to do during the waking life, which is what religion does. So let's say you were raised Catholic or Baptist or Christian, Baptist, whatever. Whatever they told you would happen to your soul, you would attempt. Like, would it, when does the Bible even give you instruction on what to do after you die? If that's the end all whole truth, why don't you get instructions on death? The only thing it kind of tells you is that what happened to some people, and a lot of people's deaths were different. And some people went here, and some people did this. Michael came and got some people just died. Um, some people came back to life. Why is there so many different stories about what happens when you die in the Bible? Think about it. Because different people have different types of death. So, Egypt, yes, ancient Kemet tells you how to die. Keep your organs. That's no damn answer. Well, you got a better one, Jack? Perhaps you need to learn how to do your own research so you can evolve. You come here, get the answers, and then go regurgitate them and throw them out like you have authority, and then go ask me my authority. Bye, Felicia. You gonna go get on a video with a robot voice and say you channeled this from some star system with some lion heads, but it's my words. But go ahead and do it. Now you know that's what they do, right? They come on these channels, then they gonna say they channeled it from some star system, and then they put a robot voice on it and some aliens with blonde hair and talking about they channeled it. Bye, Felicia. Then leave out the most important part. Brothers and sisters, beings of earth, this shift in ascension is going to be a bumpy ride. We must join together on the frequency of love. They don't tell you nothing. Go over there and get nothing. Come back here and get the information. Um, ooh, I hate those videos. A waste of time. I'd be mad. I'm like, I just wasted 15 minutes and learned nothing. Why are you stealing my information and putting it in robot voice and leaving out the most important part? I see that you are subscribed to my channel, and every time I put out a video, yours comes right after it with a robot voice. You have channeled from another galaxy called Ashura Star Goddess's channel, but that is okay. I just let them do it. I think it's funny. Um, where do you think I just let them do it? It's funny to me. Like, really? When doing spells, do you use a person's real name? Yeah, of course you use their real name. Hmm. No, you use their alias. I think names hold frequencies. If they mama called them that name, they grandma called them that name, their brother, sister, if people with high frequencies call them that name and you call out that name needs to be used. Okay? Think of it, think everything in frequency. I don't sleep well, and what else do I have to do till 2 in the morning? You don't sleep well. You need to take some melatonin. Mandy, before you start bird boxing. I'm trying to tell you. Um, but everyone calls him by different name. Well, then be like everybody else, baby. Be a follower instead of knowing thyself. Okay. Um, what do you know anything? So if everybody calls him a nickname, whatever his nickname is, if you have to let me give you an example. If you have to ask me this question, your spell ain't gonna work. Okay? I'm just being honest with you, just so you understand. If you don't have the answer to that, your spell is not gonna work anyway. Why? Because you already have doubt and you haven't even gotten as far as what name you're gonna write down. So just take some time and think about it. Hmm. If I'm gonna write something that I want to permeate throughout the universe, I'm not gonna use a nickname. Okay. If I'm gonna come to the ethers with some magic, I'm not gonna come with no nicknames. How do you explain the devil or evil spirits? Devolved, a devolved spirit, a devolved energy. Um, mhm. It's kind of like, okay, let me ask you a question. I would say having knowledge and information that was beyond your own, having knowledge and information that was beyond someone else's and using it to oppress or exploit them. It, they would have to have devolved in a lower dimension with lower level beings in order to pull it off. They couldn't do it on their own dimension. Okay, so think about that. It's kind of like it's kind of like you like Kim Kardashian or Beyonce or somebody like that going to a small country hick town and competing in a beauty pageant with people that have not had dental work or you know what I'm saying? Couldn't read straight, but they went ahead and gone ahead and entered themselves into the contest. Or they coached one of the women in the contest to win. Wouldn't that be an unfair de-evolution of what those type of women are capable of? It's like that. That's what a devil is. A devil is someone who's either influenced or someone who influences from a more knowledgeable standpoint to win with lower beings. So if you can't win with your own, you come down lower and seek victory with the lower level beings. So if you really think about it, it's kind of like showing your skills when you have no skills. But compared to other people that are below you, you're very skilled. Okay. It's like a fifth grader competing in an art contest with kindergartners. You know who gonna win. And it's not because one is better than the other. It's one is more knowledgeable than the other, but devolved to back to kindergarten contests. And so, right. But but listen, now here's the good part. But through the example of the devolved, guess who grows? Think about it. Through the example of the devolved, who grows? The kindergartners. Through the example of artwork from the fifth grader, the kindergartners' art level increases because now they have to compete with that. Okay. So it's all good in a sense. What does the real draw towards researching the planet means? I don't know what you're asking. So can you see the light in my eyes? I don't see your eyes. I see a picture of a cross on your thing. Mhm. Right. So yeah, whether devils come here or angels come here, you learn from both, and both sacrifice themselves for you eventually anyway. So the human race is the race that they bow down to no matter what. Devils. Why? Because you're one of them. You're going to become one of them eventually anyway. You were them, they were you, and on, and so forth and so on. They can't pick on someone their own size, basically. Yeah. And when that's true. And then once you can take advantage of a certain age group or people with lack of knowledge, you begin to love them and want to see them grow. Yeah, you might still exploit them a little bit because that's the whole reason you came. But at the same time, you fall in love with them. They're your children after a certain point. You know, think about the song "This Is It" by Michael Jackson. He's telling you in that song. Okay. I never thought that I would. Oh, I never thought that I would be a lover. Come on, dear, please understand. This is it. I'm the light of the world. And because he want to wake up a bunch of people, he had to sacrifice his fame. And what is fame? hmm So that's it. This is it. Kenny Loggins. hmm Um. hmm So it's how the Carters, Beyonce and Jay-Z have an album, Everything is Love. Love gets everybody in the end. Darn it. Can't escape it. Um, but there's a time for it. They couldn't use it in the beginning because they had to assert their power. In order for their power to be asserted, and everything works the way it's supposed to. So basically, you can't grow and evolve if you don't study those who have already evolved above you. But what they don't know is that they're learning from your mistakes as well. So they will be more powerful in their evolution than you ever were. So there's the good news. Mhm. You'll be more powerful in your ascension because you learn from the mistakes of those who have devolved to be here with you. Learn from the masters and become greater. All of them, not just a few, but all of them. Even the evil, so-called evil ones. Learn their mistakes. hmm Um, hmm just another part of me, MJ. Killed Jay-Z. Exactly. The sacrifice. That's why he had two names. Jay-Z, Sean Carter. Gotta have an alias. Gotta have a twin. Gotta have a us. One gotta go. If you don't have one, you gotta go. You know. On the movie Us, the lady's like, I feel like something's following me. I know someone else just like me is out there. And, she was aware of her that she's gonna have to sacrifice one of the other. One of them was gonna have to go. She was aware. So was the son. And so that being said, if you're aware of something, you know you have to make a sacrifice. You've prepared to do so. Okay. So kill Jay-Z. Mhm, yeah, perfect example. Good job. Same thing with people's names. Like when Prince had to change his name so many times into a symbol, and then to the artist formerly known as Prince, and then got his name back just to be free. hmm Sasha Fierce been dead and gone. Right. I feel like to become enlightened, I sacrificed who I was. That's good. So did I. I'm not the same person that I was years ago. And I'm not going to be the same person in 5 years from now because that person going to die too. It's going to die and evolve into a better person. And, you know, that's why you are your judge. hmm Did you get dressed early in the morning to make this? You look great though. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I ran errands and stuff today. Um, mhm. Yes, keep talking. We are the rulers. How many children could I save if I sold all my makeup? Hmm, not a lot because the people that I buy makeup from probably have kids, and the economy might fail if women stop buying makeup because it's one major business, and women rule the economy because we shop. So you might not have a job if I stop buying makeup, and then where would your children be? Thank you, Brianna Davis. What color of sand did you use for money? Spell? I don't remember. Probably green. Green or black. Green or black. So you better be happy I'm buying stuff. You might not have a job if I stop. If all women stop shopping, the American economy would collapse. You're welcome. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You'll go broke, and then what will you have to give? Huh? You'll go broke. Who'll go broke? I don't do poverty mind. Okay, that's y'all over there. I don't do poverty mind. I just don't. That's a frequency. I don't do that frequency at all. I stopped doing that frequency at 20 years old. Okay, I'm done. Y'all can have it. I stopped vibrating in poverty mind at 20. I was done. Um, so y'all go ahead with that. Y'all keep that. What do you think my birth name means, please? I don't know. Thank you. Oh, that was a question referring to believing money was the real wealth, its knowledge and wisdom. Right. Exactly. Like, that's another thing. Like, money. People think it's the spoon in the matrix. It ain't the spoon. It's your ability to bend the spoon. That's money. Okay. Just think about it that way. Money, you can burn it. The ability to get money, you can't burn that. That's in the ethers. Yes. I can be like Stephen Hawkins and have to move my eyeball on a screen and teach you how to get some money. You know what I'm saying?
Mom.
Money is not an object, it's a frequency.
How long have you been?
Hi,
live?
what do you need, baby?
How
2 hours. Mm-hmm. Stop quoting films. Start watching films. Just because you ain't watched them and you can't learn nothing here, go watch some TV. Go watch some films. They mad because they can't. You ain't got no cable. You ain't got no Netflix. They got turned off. Um, don't be mad at me. Anyway, Shira, I read on an old video comment, hat with relaxer in your hair help you what? I don't know what you're saying. I don't remember that old video. Mhm. I'd have you'd have to like send it to me or give me the name of it. Do you think watching TV is bad because it's programmed? If you know codes, it ain't programming. In fact, it's deprogramming and breaking it down for the truth. Okay, because we already know. Oh, he that they put the wrong character there. They know he's supposed to be this and that. Oh, I know who that's supposed to represent. Okay, this means that. When you have the knowledge to decode, you won't be a victim of brainwashing anymore. In fact, you can tell other people how to view that particular movie or show in the correct way. So you seeing from a whole different perspective, not from a perspective of being programmed. If you already have the knowledge, you see straight through the program. You see it's a fake program, and then you tell people the true version of it, or you break it down. So I can watch TV all day and not be brainwashed, but I can see knowledge hidden in things and still trying to portray something that's not 100% true, but I can see that as well. So I feel like if you can't do that and you seek knowledge elsewhere because you feel like it's all programming and none of it's true and they're trying to brainwash you, it's because you don't have the amount of knowledge to watch it, decode it, decipher it, and break it down for what it truly is. It's kind of like being afraid of or not wanting to participate in something because you have not researched what that particular thing is about. And you're afraid, you're not going to understand it or get it, or you may be affected by it. But if you mastered that already, you can sit there and be a part of it all day and teach other people how to do it as well. hmm All those teachings from all those prophets and stuff, they all go back to the book of Enoch. Everything that people taught that said that they were prophets, you can just go to the book of Enoch and find everything that was said. You know, I saw some video somebody sent me with this lady under hypnosis, basically quoting the book of Enoch. I'm like, okay, let me get somebody to do that and film me so I can pretend like I'm channeling. um, see, I won't stoop that low. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna do the R, move my eyeball, my eyelid like this. Yes, I see something in the clouds. It's a wheel. Mm. It's around and it's moving fast in a circular motion. That's a wheel, fool. Okay, no, not stooping to that level. I'll just tell you what book to go read and who already prophesized it from day whatever that was. I'm not finna come up here and act a fool and pretend like I'm channeling from stuff I can't even match the frequency of. That's crazy. Um, that's why you know it's fake. That's how you know it's fake. The most people who are trying to channel are not channeling from cosmic beings. They're channeling from beings on Earth. Thanks for the effort and information. I turned 33 today. Thank you, Wacky J, 2012. Happy birthday. You're young. And you giving me money on your birthday. Oh, that's so nice. That's a sacrifice. um, Thank you. I appreciate it. Can I give recent updates that I've gotten about the cosmos? Oh yeah, I had a weird dream last night and it was a liar. Okay. It was this redhead lady and she was straight up lying because she was jealous and she was trying to separate two people or two energies. But she was a liar and I knew she was lying and I played along with the game. So she didn't know I was so I did she didn't know I knew she was lying until the very end when I busted her. Those type of dreams are very symbolic of playing the game and outsmarting the opponent because you've learned them. Um, and you know how to keep your cool, your emotions are in check. You're not in animal reaction mode, and you start learning how to strategize and you learn how to play the chess exactly, not checkers, and you win. So no triggers, no indicators, only strategy, discipline, and execution. That was all it took. So for me, that's a cosmic. Hi, Tasha. To me, that's a cosmic message to get people to start seeing from a higher perspective instead of a reaction. Okay, because that's what messes up every time. That's what messes people up every time. They never get to the next level. Do you remember that apartment.com commercial where that man was getting in the elevator and all of the numbers were eight? And he kept pushing eight in frustration and getting out on the same floor over and over and over. And then this one dude had to come and show him and push another button for him because he was a more, basically, the commercial was trying to say another person has or another being has to come in and elevate you to the next level because you keep going in a circle. And so, right. And so if you can't, and so when they show you and they teach you, then you ascend. But you can't do it on your own. You know what I'm saying? Um, not not everybody. Some people they'll figure it out, but some people need guidance or just to be shown or just an example. You know, that's it. Hmm. I had a dream about rattlesnake with big head and his black symbols on his back. It was telling a person to chop off its head. It woke up. That's sperm. Oh, sorry, Sasha. That's rebirth syndrome. Hmm. It's telling you you need to be reborn. Like you may be reincarnated because think about it. Mm. Rebirth, reptile, snake, water. Look. So if you decapitate this, what happens when this fertilizes an egg? This breaks off, right? So you're going to decapitate this and become one with something new and be reborn. The snake, water, earth, all that stuff also goes into the body. There's different levels of consciousness and different levels of physical body. Thank you for the gems tonight. Excited to learn decoding. Yay! So the decapitation of a snake always means rebirth because you know the Ouroboros, the symbol of Ouroboros with the snake um, eating itself. Okay, if you chop off its head, what do you have? A new beginning. And you seek someone else to procreate and create a new self with. I have dreams of almost being killed, and the me typing now always has to save the dream. Me and I kill the killer thoughts. Always has to what? Thank you for the donation. I'm trying to read. Always has to save the dream. Me and kill the killer thoughts. Oh, that's a cool dream. Um, that's the part of you that you're protecting. There's a part of yourself that you're protecting. Mm-hmm. Thank you. How do you receive info from the cosmos? You have to have a good antenna, a high frequency antenna. Huh. Why does it have a tail when it's in a body? And why are we talking about this? I'm sorry. It's just science. Um, you know, that's another thing. They make science seem like it's not something to learn, but that's why they teach it in different ways with animals and things like that. um, you should get a regression with Quentin for your dream about yourself killing or protecting yourself from a killer. Mhm. Mhm. Quentin Q Reeves on YouTube. You can get a session with him to do like a regression. I'll write his name. Or I don't know which way it's spelled, but it's one of those ways. Quentin Q. Oops, I smeared it. Reeves, like Christopher Reeves. Let's. Okay. He's on YouTube and Facebook. There. It would be interesting to see what you're protecting yourself from. Um. Mhm. I don't do spells for people anymore. I'm done. Why do you think about seeing numbers? It means to look them up, see what they mean. Yes. Have you looked them up? Why? How do you increase the frequency of your antenna safely? Supplements. You can use supplements. You can listen to sound frequencies, both. You can eat certain foods with lots of chlorophyll and things like that. I think I have a video on how to increase your frequency. It has so many ideas, and then people are tuning in and giving their information too. So, yeah. I don't like when I see numbers, I don't really think about it. I either just go look up the number and see what it means and get the message. And I don't sit there and think about what seeing numbers mean. You know, I think when you start seeing something, go research it. It's standing out for you for a reason. Um, hmm Do you have did I have a big spiritual awakening or a little about? I've always been spiritually in tuned. But my huge awakening came when I started really researching and learning. Everything just began to unfold when I started seeking the knowledge instead of just being interested or just dabbling or just reading a book here and there or knowing how to read tarot cards. My awakening came when I was truly searching for knowledge when Michael Jackson died in 2009. Quote unquote. I learned how to start decoding in 2009 after MJ, right? Uh, because I know that there were so many messages there that I missed. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Do you I don't do spells for people. I'm so sorry. I used to, but I don't do them anymore. But I do have a spells playlist where you can learn how to do them yourself. And I do have a online store that sells all the supplies you probably need. And they're all linked in the description box. Um, right. The Patreon group, you can go to Patreon and type in decode with Ashira. That's my Patreon. Okay. You only see those numbers days before massacres happen. Massacres happen every day, just the only ones you see on the news that get reported. You know what I'm saying? Hmm. That's one thing y'all have to realize. Stuff happens every day. Just because it's not on the news doesn't mean it never happened. If you were omni, if you were able to see every single thing that happened on earth today, you would probably think that was the most violent existence ever. Okay. But you'd also have to see the births and the new children and animals and things being born. You have to look at both sides of it, not to freak out. Yes, omnipresent. You'd have to look at all the murder and death and mayhem, and then you'd have to look at all the love, harmony, and births to understand. You know, right? You mean if you were God? No, you can see all of that if you get to a certain level. Think about it. What are scientists and the government more afraid of? They're not afraid of God, they're afraid of beings that have higher spiritual technology than they do because they can see everything and they're aware of everything. They can read your frequency. You don't have to tell them a thing. You can walk in the room and they'll know exactly what you did and when you did it and how you did it because your vibration is going to tell them. Um, mhm. So they can't hide from that. And that's not even creator. That's not even the source. So that's just someone with a higher frequency. Or and it's just a consciousness or a being with a higher energy and consciousness and frequency than that person who's afraid of it. Hmm. Right. Was shocked just 2 days after watching your old dream video. I controlled my own dream and flew. I wasn't scared to find you. Wow, Jenny, that's wonderful. You lucid dream. What do you do if your vibrations are too intense? Drink some water. Your code like a sheer on patreon.com. Thank you, Renee. Cool yourself down. Your frequencies are too high. Cool down. Are your frequencies too high, Mom? My frequencies get high sometimes. I have to cool down. It's like there's so much that I know, but I don't have anybody to tell it to because they may not understand it on a frequency. They may not have enough information to fully comprehend it or agree with it or understand it from a certain point of view. So I just write it. Hmm. I just write it. And then later on, when I say it, people, some people understand it, some people don't. Hmm. What does it mean when you don't dream or when you don't remember your dreams? It means you haven't consciously decided to. Remember, everything is free will. If you want to remember your dreams before you go to sleep at night, say, I will remember my dream tonight. I will dream tonight and I will remember it. Start saying that, and eventually you will start dreaming. Even if someone tells you to dream, you'll dream. It's because you're not controlling your own mind or commanding it, someone else can very easily. Um, that's how a lot of people do hypnosis. They find someone who really feels like, that's a whole nother thing. Okay. Bye, Sashi. Close the door. Okay, I'm getting ready to go, you guys. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see y'all later. hmm Crystal, it says, can we email you? What is it? Mm, you can write me on my Patreon or my Etsy. The links are down below. hmm It was very interesting. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow? How you know I'm coming back tomorrow? um, I go live whenever I feel like going live. I don't really have a schedule anymore. But most of the time it's evenings or afternoons. In the summer, more evenings. You spoke with confidence as if I already got the job. Good for you. Don't forget Edison Tesla movie, please. Is that on Netflix or something? Or is that at the theater? Because I can go watch it. Ah, Jupiter Ascending. I'll try. I'll try. hmm I have to be in the mood, right? Yes, I have an ebook. It's called, I have two ebooks for this channel. Um, the links are below in the description. You can get it on Amazon. One is called um, How to Manifest with Dark Energy. The other is called Turn a Curse into a Blessing. And you can buy both of those ebooks on Amazon.com. Thank you. And the links are below in the description. You can still use any videos to help improve your life. Some people are on different levels of consciousness. So my old videos may help you get to the next level, to the next level, to the next level, because that's my evolution. You know, I left my evolution up for you guys so y'all can see where I came from. All my old videos are still up. Never deleted any of them unless YouTube did. Um, Thank you so much, Andy. I appreciate that. Overlight. Dark is just unseen, and dark plasma is the darkness you see in the cosmos. Light is only a small percentage of the cosmos. Sound and frequency and vibration is more prevalent, and that is dark because you can't see it. So, when I say dark, I don't mean black, I mean dark. Dark means you cannot see it, but it's there. Dark plasma, dark matter, beyond the light spectrum. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You'll see, I've made mistakes, I've grown, I've learned, I've evolved, I've changed, I've done so many things that I left it all up for everyone to see. I'm not ashamed of anything, and I want people to learn um, through growth, not through quick fixes and trying to hide who I am and acting like I was always something that I'm not. I want to see the evolution of someone. That's the beauty of it. You know, when you watch the evolution of Michael Jackson, that's beautiful. You watch the evolution of someone that's come from nothing to something, or from basic to something else or whatever. It's beautiful. You know, if you start off at the top, there's nowhere else to go but down. So I would like leave all my stuff up there. Mhm. Right. Um, you was in a coma for 17 days. I think I dreamt of me. You dreamt of me in a coma? You were the dark and I was the light, and you were the north wind and I was the south. Is that poetry?
Someone had a poetic dream about you.
Sasha said someone had a poetic dream about me. That sounds like a long 17-day coma dream. Wow. I'm the north wind. Interesting. Well, thanks for dreaming about me. I appreciate it. Um, I'm flattered. Jay-Z has an interview on Netflix with David Letterman. It's an amazing video. Okay, let me write that down too. Got stuff to watch now, Sasha.
Yeah, you can have a movie night
I know.
and watch all the recommended movies.
Okay, Jay-Z, David Letterman. It's your boy Hove. I'm sure it was you. What was I doing in this dream? Blowing in the wind? Kanye was good too. I saw bits and pieces of his. I know he speaks in code too, like his goofy code, but code. Um, See, Kanye didn't have nothing to sacrifice. That's why he's in his situation. He sacrificed his sanity. Poor Kanye. I'll sacrifice my sanity. He was smart for sacrificing his sanity, though. Let me tell you why. Hold on, I thought I was finna go, but I guess 5 more minutes. He sacrificed his sanity. Was a smart legal move. Genius. Now that's a genius. Once you sacrifice your sanity, you can get out of pretty much most of those contracts you were under. A lot of debt. Smart. He was smart. I don't think he sacrificed his mother. I really don't. Um, I think he basically, because he didn't have to. I think she just died with a complication due to plastic surgery recovery. I mean, a lot of people have to go to emergency rooms and stuff. I know I knew this lady, and she was in what's it called, intensive care unit for like 5 weeks after plastic surgery. You know, so I don't know the pressures of Hollywood. Oh, I got to get a tummy tuck. Oh, I got to get a lift. Oh, I got to get liposuction. I'm Kanye West mom. Doing too much too soon. If you got high blood pressure, or you don't eat right, you get a blood clot or something like that. That stuff is very dangerous. So I don't really think it was a sacrifice. And even if it was, I don't know. But still, he also had to sacrifice his sanity as well. So I don't know what happened there, but he also had to sacrifice his sanity as well. hmm What do you need to research to better understand my spiritual videos? Ooh, science. Start with the electromagnetic frequency. Oh, here's a good book, y'all. Here's like a book that breaks it down very simple and touches on most science theories and things like that. So Scientia. And I've shown you this book before. It breaks everything down with pictures and small paragraphs. Like you don't have to read like a whole chapter. It just hits on a little bit. And if you're able to understand this little bit, everything else unfolds naturally when you read more. So this is a real good book for anyone who is trying to understand the cosmos, electromagnetic frequency, things like that, because it has to do with spirit, soul, matter, consciousness, what we really are. Everything is a stage above another thing. So how the brain works, what the brain looks like, code for, you know, other things will show up in anatomy sometimes. Um, how the cosmos and your body and the universe. Um, here's how animals evolved from the water, from the earth to the water. See? You see that asteroid coming down from space and dropping bacteria in the water. The bacteria is growing. Now it has legs. It's going to climb out. The evolution theories. So from fire to water to earth, back to earth. So the evolution and the de-evolution. See, um, this is a good book. It just touches on small things, the great walls and voids. See, you get like a page, and it goes deep. Let's see something else that's really good. Teaches you about light and the light spectrum. You need that. Sound, the frequency as well. Liquids and gases. Here we go. Plasma. Liquids, solid liquids, gases, and plasma. So simple harmonic motion. When we talk about harmony. But all this stuff is science. And it translates into spirituality. Okay. Dimensions. It gives you all these dimensional figures and angles and things like that. Helps you understand on a higher level. Let's see. It's a good book though. Like it has different chapters and stuff like that. Oh, this was the inspiration for the video today. You see, dolphin human that can levitate. Then you have angel, dragon, bird like, now they're flying. This is the evolution and the de-evolution of us many times over and over. Okay. Oh, this is the plasma universe. Here you go. Okay. So that's a good book. I got this in Barnes and Nobles or Books a Millions or one of those bookstores. Good book. Probably can get it online cheap. So it's a quick reference book, a quick book to read to quickly understand something. Like if somebody says, "Oh, go learn about electricity and light," and you don't want to get a whole book on it or read through thousands of pages or blogs or something. This has like 1 or 2 pages on it. Gives you the quick breakdown in simple terms. No giant words or scientific words, but mostly simple terms. I was at Starbucks and I had this book and the guy was like, "Oh, that's a really good book." He was like a nerd. He was in high school. I said, "Oh, Really? What do you have this book? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, well, what do you use it for? Are you in college? He says, no, I'm in high school. It's a really good reference book um, for science. I'm like, oh, okay. I know he wanted to ask me why my old self had it. Anyway. hmm I didn't answer him why. He didn't ask me why I had it, but I know he was thinking it. I was like, oh, okay. I was acting like I was dumb. I was like, oh, it's really good. Oh, okay. I had already read this thing. Okay. Sometimes you just gotta let people shine, you know. Um, because he was so happy to talk about it, like he really liked the book, so I had to let him talk. When you seek knowledge, other seekers of knowledge will find you. Exactly. That's so true. The book is called Scientia. Scientia. hmm Do I think I have enough U melanin? I know I do. Mhm. um, I definitely know I do. hmm hmm Curtis, yes, I have known for sure. Oh, not talking to each other. Is my husband into this? Nope. He'll listen to what I say, but he probably doesn't process it. But he's good still. He good. He'll be all right. You're around my color. Kuarvi Mara. Have you ever had your DNA done? You should do that too, because sometimes that can help you understand too. When you don't have enough melanin, what happened to you if you don't? You just stay in fact with the earth. Like it's hard to explain because if you, it depends on the amount of knowledge you have. It's like because everything is free will, even where you go after you die. So, and y'all haven't been taught that because y'all get in religion. So, if you understand who you are and what you are, if you know thyself, you know where to go, you know what to do. If you don't, then you stay behind. If you don't have enough of you melanin, you may go to another life. You may reincarnate. You may go into another dimension of Earth, whatever, whatever. But if you have melanin and you don't know that you're supposed to go to the cosmos, or you can go to the cosmos if you choose to, you'll stay here out of lack of knowledge. You'll be the living dead, okay? Like Michael Jackson was in Thriller. The living dead means they're able to go other places, but they don't because they don't know any better. Um, as far as being a child of Earth, you can go to different dimensions. You can reincarnate through different lifetimes. You can come. Then you can even choose to come back through a melanated body if you choose to. If you have it in your bloodline, if somebody's having grandchildren with a melanated person and your DNA and bloodline is there, you can also reincarnate back through. That movie, what was that movie called? Something about Cloud Atlas. It shows you a lot of that in Cloud Atlas. Like Tom what Hanks kept reincarnating, but he kept coming back to Earth. Halle Berry had to come get him and take him to a whole nother planet. You see what I'm saying? So, mhm, there you go. Have you experienced any paranormal activity recently? No, not recently.
Not recently.
Mm-mm. We didn't. We exercised our house. We cleansed our home. Hmm. What irritates you? Dumb people.
Of course.
Mm. No, actually, dumb people do not irritate me. People that don't know something and pretend that it's okay not to know it when it's very important. So ignorance. I'll say ignorance. Mhm. I had a dream. I was showing my sister the tree sons. Cool. The three sons. Oh, wow. How to respect elders that are rude to you for no reason. I don't see. Okay, here's my thing on that. They're not mentally elder. Their mentality is not elderly. They may be in an old body with a very immature or ignorant mind. So the best way to respect an elder that's ignorant is to not go back and forth with them. Just to say, okay, okay, understood. You right. Mm-hmm. Or like, oh, okay. Hmm. Old people are rude to me. A lot of elderly people are rude to me. But the only thing that I see is that they didn't live the life that they wanted to live, and now they're mad at someone else because they are living the life that they want to live. They didn't have the nerve, the skill, the discipline, or the self love to do what they really wanted to do. And now they mad because you doing it. So I just see, you know, that's what I see. But I wouldn't disrespect them unless they're adamant about disrespecting me. But, you know, I'd be like, mm-hmm. Or I take it as a time to teach an elder because they say the children will lead. Never I would, teach the elders. So I think Japanese people are woke. Go look at anime. They super woke. The anime writers, anyway. Anime is woke, right?
What?
Someone asked me if I think Japanese people are like aware and conscious, woke. And I said, go look at anime. Thundercats. Remember Thundercats from the 80s?
No.
Because you weren't around, but I'm talking to them. They've been woke. Now, maybe not all of them, but the ones that are in control of the creative things, of course. Just not like not all one race of people are woke. Some of them are. Hmm. Thundercats. Hmm. Hmm. All right, y'all. I'm getting ready to go. Thank y'all for tuning in. So I'll see y'all later. Bye. Hi.